I think women in tech is super important, and diversity we can see, and I know
diversity is a key topic. I think
we can even see that for data collection purposes. We have actually a thesis student right now looking a bit into this and thinking about for these large NLP models, for example, and the data we use for that. Is there some difference in terms of gender as an AI see it? And then you can try to swap up things. So they have this example of if you use the term nurse, will it be connected to a male or a female? And then you can swap up the term and see if the model will change the prediction if you change the gender, and you can see it actually does. And this kind of connection between the gender and an occupation like nurse, do of course exist in the data it's trained on, so it exists in the model. And this is a bit different question than women in tech, but
it is actually. Where are you going with this, Anders? I don't know where you're going with it.
Yeah, perhaps we should stop that discussion. It's a completely different one. Okay, so let's go back to women in tech instead.
Thanks.
Sorry for that distraction. It was not meant to be. Okay, so women in tech, I think it's a super important one to actually have people working in the field as data scientists or as people developing systems.
We need diversity of people building.
How do we attract more women like yourself into the field of AI?
That's a very good question. I was in the the board of the mathematics department at Sala University when I was a student, and at the time there was a short time when I was the only female PhD student in theoretical mathematics, and I got the question like, as a woman, what do you think? And I'm so proud of myself because I answered that I don't know, because I can't answer for all women, but as a Finlandssvensk, so a Swedish-speaking Finn, my opinion is this.
I love that answer. Oh my God. What?
Yeah. I did something right. No, but I think, the thing
but is it important? First of all, is it important to have diversity in this industry?
I think it's important to have diversity in very many different aspects. I think if you manage to create a heterogeneous team, you will notice that because they will talk a lot about culture and they will talk a lot about gender because those things are things that you can discuss. Whereas if you have too much of a homogenous team and you have like one woman in the team, any kind of discussion about gender equality will create a sense of not belonging for the person who's apart. So it's exactly the same for male nurses and female nurses. Having that discussion in a homogenous group where you have some people that are like almost like anomalies, that's how they're going to feel. So immediately when you start discussing that, it becomes, you need to ensure that you have like a secure environment for it and not pointing at the women and saying, why are you so few? More like thinking about, okay, so how can we that are like adults and working in the field, how can we create an atmosphere that is inviting for many different kinds of people? And I think it's...
And why is it important, ultimately?
Well,
it's a stupid question in one way, but let's just state it.
Yes. So for me, it's important because building a team means that you have to have a good balance. And you have to have an openness. Yes. And in order to have openness, you need heterogeneity.
Yes.
Because otherwise people are all looking in one direction.
Groupthink.
Yeah. And if someone starts looking in another direction, you're an anomaly.
And then
it takes much more strength.
Effort of this guy to make... Yeah. So you miss good ideas and you miss bad ideas.
Yeah. Absolutely. And my one of my heroes is Joy Bolamwini, who is a strong member of the Algorithmic Justice League.
Justice League?
Yeah.
Algorithmic Justice League.
Yeah.
What a cool...
They do a lot of really cool stuff. And so she's quite famous for analyzing the facial recognition algorithms that many different tech companies have. And so she realized she's a person of color in the US, and she tried out the facial recognition algorithms. They didn't recognize that she even had a face. And then
some of these examples we've heard about on Twitter or whoever,
Google Photos
and all this.
Yes. And
was she behind looking at some of these cases, maybe?
I don't know. But so the reason why she's my hero is that she tried out, like she cut a face out of paper and put it in front of her face. And the facial recognition algorithm recognized the face, but it was just paper.
Yeah.
And then
coded bias.
Yeah. Yeah, they have a new. I really want to see that movie, Coded Bias. And then what she did.
Is that Netflix?
I don't know. I tried to find it, but it looks like you have to connect to like local cinemas in the US.
Right.
So hopefully it'll be more available. We can always email her.
Yeah.
And then what she did was that she created a benchmark of how the world looks. So she looked at pictures from many different cultures, and she tried out the algorithms with this sort of benchmark of the world population. And then she sent the feedback to the technology companies, and she said, like, I'm a researcher. I will be publishing this in my thesis in 2 weeks' time. Please let me know if you're interested in having a discussion. and one of the companies actually responded, and she was invited to somewhere in Silicon Valley, and she met with the people who had built the facial recognition algorithm, and it turned out that it was white middle-aged men. and they were really thankful that she'd done this work, and they said that they understand that they really need to focus on this, and they need to think about the fact that they aren't diverse, and they need to take that into account.
And now we went full circle on her topic, back to your topic, by the way.
Exactly, yeah.
Nice.
Really love it.
Super nice.